Okay, remember, if you go through this video and you make all the necessary corrections, you will get partial credit, and that way we can go back in and definitely improve your score. So let's see how to solve these problems. Number 1, you have 2/4 of a pizza and you want to share it equally between 2 people. How much of the pizza does each person get? All right, now think about, what are you actually dividing? Are we dividing the pizza or are we dividing the people? I hope you say pizza, which would be correct. You're going to take the 2/4 and you're going to divide it by how many shares? Well, the 2 people that you're sharing with. Now, in order to divide fractions, we know that we keep, change, flip. Then we're just going to go ahead and multiply across this. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Leaves you with 2 8s. And you should notice that 2 8s actually has a common factor of 2. So I can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. For a final answer of 1/4. So how much of the pizza does each person get? 1/4. Let's look at number 2. A baker is making cakes for a big party. She uses 1/4 cup of oil for each cake. How many cakes can she make if she has a bottle of oil that has 6 cups in it? Now think about what you're actually doing and sharing, okay? So are we taking the 4th cup of oil and sharing it between 6? Or are we taking the 6 cups and sharing it with the 1/4? You should be taking the bottle and figuring out, okay, how many times can I pour out 1/4? So that's going to be 6 divided by 1/4. So we're going to keep, change, flip. 6 times 4 is 24. And then 1 times 1 gives us 1. And this makes an improper fraction. But not only that, the 24 is now a whole number of 24. Sorry for that. All right, let's look at number 3. It says, the serving size for the granola that Ted likes to eat for breakfast is 3/4 cup. How many servings are there in a box that holds 13 cups? Once again, think about what the question is asking. So we want to take the box of 13 cups and see how many 3/4 cups we can get. So we're going to take the 13 and we're going to divide it by 3/4. In order to do that, we're going to keep, change, flip. Use the reciprocal. And now we're going to go ahead and multiply it out. 13 times 4 is 52. 1 times 3 is 3. Now you should notice this is an improper fraction, so we're going to have to divide it out. 3 will divide into 5 one time. 3 will divide into 22. How many times? I hope you said 7. With the remainder of 1. Sorry that it's a little crowded here, but it should be for a final answer of 17 and 1/3. Number 4. How many half-cup servings are in a package of cheese that contains 5 1/4 cups altogether? Once again, we're taking, don't just put the fractions in order as they come up in the question. See what the question's actually wanting you to do. It's wanting you to take the 5 1/4 and divide it into half cups. Well, before we do that, we need to take our mixed number and make it an improper fraction. So that's 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21, which leaves us with 21/4. Keep, change, flip. 21 times 2 is 42. 4 times 1 is 4. As you can see, you're left with the improper fraction, which means 42 divided by 4. 4 will divide into 4 one time. 4 will divide into 2 0 times, and leaves you with a remainder of 2, which leaves you with a mixed number of 10 and 2/4. But you should notice that 2/4 can actually be simplified. 2 and 4 both can have the factors of 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2, for a final answer of 10 and a half. All right, number 5. Mrs. Murphy's class is making pillowcases. Each pillowcase uses 3/4 of a yard of fabric. How many pillowcases can they make out of 12 and a half yards of fabric? All right, so think about what it's asking. And once you take the fabric, the 12 and a half, and it wants you to divide it into 3/4 parts. Now, before we do that, we need to take our mixed number and change it into an improper fraction. That way it's easier to deal with. Well, 2 times 12 is 24. 24 plus 1 is 25. So now we have 25 halves. And we're going to change our sign for keep, change, then flip. Now we're ready to multiply it out. 25 times 4 is 100. 2 times 3 is 6. So now we have 100 over 6. But now we need to simplify it. It says 100 divided by 6. Well, 6 will divide into 100. Let's see. 6 will divide into 10 one time. 6 will divide into 40. How many times? Well, I know that 6 times 6 is 36. That's why it's important to also know your math facts. Which leaves us with 16 and 4 6. Now, you notice that you should be able to simplify the 4 6 because 4 and 6 both have the common factor of 2. But look back at the question. How many pillowcases can you make? You're not going to make part of a pillowcase. So how many whole pillowcases can you make? Your final answer should be 16 pillowcases. Let's finally look at number 6. A bookshelf is 3.5 feet long. Each book on the shelf is 5/8 inches wide. How many books will fit on the shelf? First things first, we're dealing with feet and inches. Well, in order to do the math, we have to have a common measurement, which means you're going to have to convert. You can take the feet and you can convert it into inches. How do we do that? We're going to take our 3.5 feet and we're going to multiply it by our conversion. Well, I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. Well, there's our conversion. So this is our feet. Now we're going to multiply it by 12. In order to multiply, we need an improper fraction. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So now we're left with 7 halves. No reason to change the sign, times 12. Well, 12 wholes can be written as the fraction 12 over 1. Then we multiply it out. 7 times 12. I know that 7 times 2 is 14. Carry your 1. And then that's 7 plus 1, that's 8. 84. So that's a way to multiply it out. 2 times 1 is 2. So now I'm left with 84 halves, or 84 divided by 2, which equals the whole number 42. So now I'm not looking at 3.5 feet, now I'm looking at 42 inches. So I'm going to take my 42 inches, and I want to know each book on the shelf is 5/8 inches wide. How many 5/8 books can I put on there? So I'm going to divide by 5/8. So I'm going to take the whole shelf and divide it by the books I can fit on there. So I'm going to keep, change, flip anytime I'm dividing fractions. Well, 42 times 8, if you multiply it out, gives you 336. 1 times 5 is 5. As you can see, we have an improper fraction, which means 336 divided by 5. So I can divide that out, and it ends up with 67 1/5. But let's look at the question again. How many books will fit on the shelf? Well, I'm not going to take my book and chop it into 1/5 of a piece. So really, the whole number is what's important here. I can fit 67 books on the shelf. So if you make these corrections and you turn the paper in before or by Thursday, I will update the grade book and it will be ready in time for progress reports.